Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the JM Financial Center of IIM Udaipur. I am Srishi Rastogi, a second-year MBA student at IIM Udaipur and a member of Phenomena Finance and Investments Club at IIM Udaipur. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Sharan Asher, Director at Eragon Ventures, whose career revolves around scientific research, management consulting, and long-term investing. Thank you, Dr. Asher, for joining us today. We are delighted to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
To begin, I would like to start with your professional journey. When I saw your academic life cycle was around life sciences, but then you extend your expertise into investments. So I would like to understand how you build those expertise in investments, and to out there young professionals, what would you suggest them and how should you will advise them to make a transition to a very different field as you did?
So I think I think I'll start with what my education actually is. And so I've done my undergrad in molecular biology and economics.
Yeah.
So I have a dual major in economics, that's the only sort of business and finance education I've had. My master's is in biotechnology, my PhD is in cancer genetics. So like you said, it's through and through, it's life sciences, right? Now, at this point, I thought the same thing, probably many students would think if they had done the same thing. They said, I don't have any business expertise or finance expertise whatsoever, and if I want to ever run my own business, or I plan to start up my own business at that point. So I said, I need some business know-how. You can't run a business just as a scientist. And maybe you can learn on the job, but I guess I was worried about making too many mistakes. So I applied at PwC in management consulting, worked at PwC for a few years. That was my crash course MBA. Now, as an MBA student, you'll be like, this is not a crash course MBA at all, but that I tried to do it through work experience. Okay. I tried to do it by understanding how industries work in India, how businesses work in India, what are they looking for. Yeah. Today, it's going from the classroom to what the businesses actually do is very different. And like you said, you spent time in Pune and you've worked at a business. So part of your education here, you're understanding how businesses work, which I think is a valuable sort of bridge to gap. I think from an advice point of view, and maybe I'm a little biased on this, is because I have a lot of fondness for sector expertise, what an MBA student might call it, right? So I have expertise in my sector. I'm good at least the life science part of it, and I'm getting better at the business and investing part of it. So making the jump over, it's a good sort of unique skill. Like, look, not in a bad way, but there are a decent number of MBAs that come out of multiple IIMs every year. So if you want to differentiate yourself from, let's say, all your batchmates, how do you do it? Yeah. I have a friend who's a lawyer and a doctor simultaneously, and she's an investor as well.
Oh.
So she has a very unique perspective on it because she can talk to healthcare companies from a regulatory perspective and from a healthcare perspective. Okay. So it's a very unique combination where it means her views are unique by themselves while evaluating a deal.
Okay.
So it's the same for me. There are funds who eventually say that, Sharan, you don't understand the outreach to find someone who understands biotech, deep tech businesses or deep tech healthcare businesses who are actually innovating products. Today, we see on the news that, we should get out of a services mindset, we should get into a product mindset and stuff. If you want to develop products, you need people who understand the products building it. You need people who understand the products investing in it. Yeah. So I think from an advice point of view, it'd be important to carve out your own niche and get good at it, I think is a good way to put it.
That was a nice perspective. So over the years, you have been looking for various businesses and industries. You look for various businesses and the founders. So what are the few things you mainly look for within the businesses? And in that, did you find any qualities that are consistent for good businesses, like exceptional businesses, in comparison to average businesses?
So I'll break your question up into two sections. One is the quality and things you look for in the business itself, and then the quality and things you look for in the founder itself. And the two are tied together eventually, right? Because exceptional founders will make exceptional businesses.
Yes.
Now, it's a bit of a chicken and egg problem because you may not realize they're an exceptional founder till they build the exceptional business and so on and so forth. But I think one of the And again, this is maybe a bit philosophical, a bit idealistic, but I look for curiosity a lot.
Okay.
If a founder is curious, if a founder is willing to learn, willing to fail, get up, learn, and stays curious, I think they're the type of profile, and this is true in a person's PhD as well. Eventually, everyone who's admitted to a PhD program is the base level of intelligence to achieve their PhD. Then it's a matter of, can you stick it out? Can you fail 8 out of 10 times working at 2 a.m., 4 a.m. in the lab and still get up the next day, go to the lab and try the same thing again? Understand where you failed, how you failed, and then can you work on it then? And it's the same thing with the founder. Founder's journey is uncomfortable, in one sense. They're running out, they need funding, they need value-add investors, they need a little bit of luck to go their way, they need timing to be on their side, they need competition to also not all of a sudden go, today sometimes the competition might get a crazy amount of funding and all of a sudden their life just changes. Today, large strategics might enter the field and how do you compete with that?
True.
So for founders, I think resilience, curiosity, I look for humility, but that's a personal thing. That's not necessary. That's not absolutely necessary. Sometimes you want a founder to have that good arrogance to say, I will succeed, no, whether you fund me or not.
Yes.
You need a bit of both, but personally I like humility better, and that's a subjective thing. Objectively, resilience and curiosity, I think, are big on my list.
Okay.
This is beyond like intelligence and stuff as well.
Yeah. So you have also mentioned in your previous conversation that you were in founding team of something you tried starting off your own. So did you feel you lagged somewhere or something you wanted to switch your interest into?
No, so I wasn't on the founding team myself. Okay. My original plan when I was making decisions about my education was to start my own thing.
Okay.
I never did end up doing it because that's how life worked out for me.
Okay.
So we were former promoters of a company called JB Chemicals. JB Chemicals is a pharmaceutical company in India today.
Yes.
I never actually worked in JB Chemicals. My family ran JB Chemicals. Yeah. We sold the business while I was still working at PwC, and I actually left PwC because the question was, can you help us set up this investment office?
Okay.
Family office, investment office. So I quit my job at PwC. At least I think I was going to get a promotion soon. And I told my family, at least will you match my salary? I said, no chance.
Okay.
Said, okay, fine, I'll take the job. Great.
Okay, nice. So also we see a lot of uncertainties when we do investments. So a lot of time there are uncertainties and a lot of incomplete information because we see a lot of information asymmetry exist.
Absolutely.
So in that case, when some investments for you worked out in that way, how do you reflect on it? And to the managers and organizations out there, how can you help them to cure their failures without being overly cautious and risk-averse?
So I think it comes back a little bit to what I said about what we look for in founders. I think resilience is important, right? And resilience means you can fail.
Yeah.
You have to learn, you have to understand why you failed. See, there's no point just failing, trying the same thing again, failing again. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying today, understand why you failed, be honest about why you failed. If it's something you did wrong, then it's something you did wrong. And that's something you have to take it on the chin, you have to accept it, and you have to do better the next time. As long as you can do better the next time, you'll eventually do fine. I think, that's the resilience part of it, whereas you have to keep doing what you're doing. You know what you're doing is right. You know you're trying to invest in the right companies and the right people. Eventually, learn from your mistakes, fine-tune that process, keep at it. It's a very simple, get out of bed in the morning and give yourself a reason to go to work.
Okay.
But that's a pure personality thing. It's not... some people will become more risk-averse and it's natural. Maybe you were taking undue risk, and if that's the case, you need to correct that.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay. So moving on to our last part. So many of our listeners and audiences, they want to start something of their own.
Yeah.
So what advice you will give them for being able to have some investing expertise, and also what are the few things you look for, like what mistakes founders usually make while doing the pitching of their startups or going ahead for the founder's role?
So the first part is advice for people wanting to start their own businesses. I think honestly it's do something you genuinely enjoy. And again, look, this is a cliche. Everybody says it, like, do what you're passionate about. Is that I mean, it's a cliche because it's a stereotype because it's true.
Yeah.
It's not that stereotype just happened one fine day and became a thing everybody said, right? You tend to be better at the things you care about. So if you care about it, you'll spend those extra hours in the office or the lab trying to sort it out. You'll try to solve the problem that little bit harder. And when you're feeling a bit crap about something not working well, I think it keeps you going if you care about it a little.
Yeah.
And I think that helps. So like for me, it was always biology. Like finance wasn't something I was passionate about at the start. And now the more I do what I'm doing, I think I'm realizing that I could start one company and work on one particular problem and then try and be the best at that I could. Here I'm being able to invest in people who are I'm investing in 8 people who are solving 8 great problems, and I'm trying to contribute financially and otherwise. So we're very particular about spending time with the founders, even if it's just a phone call in the middle of the night saying this experiment didn't work and I don't know why. Personally, I'm very happy to have that conversation anytime with the founder. I think that's we're trying to add value within our niche, I guess.
Okay.
And I think the advice would be to go for what you enjoy, and with a little bit of luck and you need a little bit of luck. Today, you just do. I keep citing Meals on Wheels versus Swiggy concept. Have you ever heard of Meals on Wheels?
Yeah.
They were the order from restaurants that don't have
Yes,
delivery
yes.
service.
Yeah.
Except that back then there weren't apps.
Correct.
And you had to do it on the phone. Yeah. Which is why it didn't work. People just couldn't be bothered to, call and say, okay, I'm going to order this from this restaurant. Now with apps and 5G penetration, I think this would have been the Swiggy just for a little bit of timing and luck.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
Agree
is,
to your point.
you get the point? Sorry, what was the second half of the question?
So I asked, what are the few things you look for the founders that make mistakes while pitching their investment to the investor?
Well, in life sciences and biotechnology, and I have this discussion with one particular set of founders a lot, is they can be too technical while presenting.
Okay.
And too technical while presenting, I think Nisha's is nodding behind us at this, but too technical while presenting to a non-scientific audience.
Yeah.
The skill of communication, you have to be able to explain a complex concept simply.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to oversimplify it, you're not trying to dumb it down, but you are trying to, there's no point if you make it too technical, very detailed, and don't get your message across at all. And if you lose their attention, even more so. So one of the biggest mistakes I find is 1, making it too complicated. 2, sometimes they've done their pitch so many times, they've done it, it's almost like muscle memory to them. It loses its, they almost don't seem excited about it. They're almost sort of going through the motions, which then it's not off-putting, it's just you have to, as an investor, you just take it into account and then ask questions that maybe they get their sort of energy flowing again. But I think those are the 2 I can pinpoint that I can think of. Beyond that, I guess it's talking too qualitatively and not talking about the relevant numbers enough. Today you need to talk about your revenue, you need to talk about the run rate, you can talk about your burn rate, you need to talk about how much you're going to spend. And yes, as a founder, you have to tell a good story, but you also have to come down to basics. Being able to do both, I think, is important, and doing only one or the other is, well, a mistake in my opinion, at least.
Okay, yeah, it was very nice learning, and thank you, Dr. Asher, for providing the insightful learnings and sharing your experiences with us. I would like to thank you for joining us today, and on behalf of Phenomena, JM Financials, and I am Udaipur, thank you once again for being here and present over here with us, and it was nice talking to you.
Thank you very much for having me.